Ross is over here getting ready to start this YouTube video about this Sq5. It's too busy saying stupid shit like, "Hi, my name's Ross and I like boys, and my uncle has a pocket knife. Look at how yellow this car is."
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it with you looking.
Okay, I'll turn around when you practice.
What's going on, guys? My name's Ross Moorhead. I'm the owner of Classy House Productions here in Carrollton, Texas. Today we're gonna be bagging a 2016 Audi Sq5. So it's gonna work on multiple chassis, any B8, B8.5, so that's Q5, A4, A7, etc. So we're gonna take you through step-by-step process on how to do it. Kind of give you a quick overview of the entire installation, and then we'll get this thing on the ground and make it look a lot better. Okay, so to start off, a quick overview of what we have for the components of the Sq5. We've got our rear airbags that already come pre-assembled with the brackets attached. You've got your rear shocks. They're going to be shock body adjustable as well as 30-way dampening. Just like the fronts, will have the 30-way dampening as well. Airlift actually came out with a new design for their top bushing, so it's a lot quieter now with your turning and then up and down motions. We've got our leader lines for the front bags, all the various fittings for the front and rear bags. And then we've got our Vire compressors, dual 444s. And then along with that, we'll have our second compressor harness. And then we've got the brain, which is going to be the 3P manifold, has the ECU inside of it. Your 3P controller, and then one of our glow mounts that's for the controller to hard mount it into the vehicle. And then we've got our water trap and all the various fittings for that as well, and then the air line that we need, and then our main harness. And that's pretty much everything that comes with the kit, everything you need to do the install. Here we go. What size is that?
19.
For the front, we're gonna go ahead and, as you saw, Kevin took the 19mm axle bolt out. We discussed it off camera that this is a preferred method. He said it makes it easier. So we're gonna do it the easier way.
And then what we're finding out right now is
we're missing some tools.
we're missing my impact.
A little baby one?
I mean, medium. It's regular sized. Okay, your mom says that it's regular sized.
And then next, Kevin's gonna go up here to the upper control arm. I believe those are
16
millimeters on both sides.
Super important top tip.
If you have them pop out like that on you, be grateful.
This bolt does not come out easily. I'm really sorry, but this one's just really bad about accumulating rust.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna be moving
And
all
then
this.
now,
I'm gonna disconnect these wires from like the brakes.
it's gonna be the ABS harness, I believe.
There's 2 on the driver's side and 1 on the passenger side in the front.
Use your little pry tool doohickey there.
Because if you start pulling on this and these aren't long enough, it'll be a bad day. Oh, this is also known as a screwdriver.
Pry tool is also known as a screwdriver.
Take the brake line out of the little holder there to give us all kinds of room.
This is gonna be the lower fork mount you just took out. Now we're gonna do the. Did you already do the sway bar inlay?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
So
We're gonna do the sway bar inlay probably next. I'm just guessing here.
just because,
being in Kevin's way.
and it's because it's the only one left. Otherwise, I would do a different one just to show you, just to spite you. So it's here. It's a 16 millimeter.
You put some MAN behind it.
Yeah. I also had to sit there and think about righty tighty, lefty loosey, but since the bolt's like facing the other
Backwards.
way.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take the axle slides out of the back of the bearing. We have all the room in the world to swing this around. We'll lower the car down. We're going to take out the ones out of the top of the strut. Got these two 13mm nuts holding this bar in. I already took this one out. And then you got four 16mm bolts. Two there.
So the strut's ready to come out. Just gonna do a little bit of fishing around. We swear this isn't Kevin's first time.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah,
This is a special, it says this in the repair manual, this special angle. Dear Lord.
There it is.
This top one's 18mm, but what we're going to do first is we're going to put this on here. If you're doing this at your house,
It's highly recommended to go and rent a spring compressor.
a nice one, and if you're doing it with one of those that's like
Zipping on each side.
two things on either side and two different screws you got to tighten, go ahead and comment below with the contact information for your next of kin, because
You're probably gonna die.
you might die. Just gotta be careful. Everybody be careful. Probably using your... Okay.
So we've got it compressed. He's gonna go ahead and use that 18mm socket on the top. Zip that to that off. And then we can release the spring pressure. All right.
Go ahead and put a gold star on the calendar.
Lived another day.
Really, we don't need hardly any of this. I just need to get this off of here, because we will be reinstalling that on the air strut. So there's also an 18mm nut and bolt.
Nut.
And you would put like a screwdriver or chisel or something in this gap to widen it so it would slide off of there, but I don't have time for all that bullshit.
That's a nice ninja trick.
Ninja trick.
I usually just use my strut spreader.
Yeah, your little socket. That's it. I was just talking about something like that. You stick it in there and turn it.
You can get these from Metal Nerd. They're pretty nice, especially if you do a lot of installs. Yeah, it's oval shaped. So it goes in and it'll roll right and spread it apart.
How much are those?
Like 20 bucks.
Yeah. I feel like if you're trying to do this at your house, it's probably worth the $20.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna have to remove this from the shock top.
Shock top.
Shock top. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna install this in a vise. We're gonna use like a sharpened chisel and the power of Thor. Try to get up under there between the aluminum and that metal collar. So it's starting to roll it out of there.
Boom.
Done. This is,
No longer needed.
yeah. So this is our air strut. It's got this collar on here. Make sure it stays. And the nut. Put this up here. Make sure that the line goes in the back. This from the stock stuff right on top. Put the nut. We decided that was a... Was that a 15?
The same as that.
Okay, so it's a 16. My name's Kevin. I can't find my shit. 17 millimeter nut. Guess again, Ross. Good and tight.
Good and tight.
Good and tight is that's also in the repair manual.
Proper terminology.
Okay. So then we're going to put this on. Threaded hole goes in the back. So we're going to put it in there approximately like this.
Remember that?
Yeah, like that?
Yeah.
That way you're not sitting there trying to figure out which way does it go, or you get on there backwards and it's like halfway in the car. So, not gonna put the bolt in yet. That way if I get it in the car and I need to reclock this,
Pivot.
I can make it pivot.
We're gonna put the air strut back in the vehicle.
Reverse cartwheel maneuver.
So now that we've got the air strut back up in the car, we're just going to go in reverse order. Kevin's going to get it lined up in its holes. And we're going to put those 4 bolts back in the upper strut mount. We're going to list and link the where to purchase our barrel couches from.
Barrel couch.
However much Walmart's selling them for, we're going to sell them for $25 less. Kevin's hands are so strong, he can basically torque them down with his hand. We get the extension for your extension. Leave the pocket flashlight out.
Yeah, fits right in your pocket.
Not to be confused with flashlight.
I get confused because one pocket has one and the other pocket has the other. So this isn't straight, so I'm gonna do my little trick here. This is like Ross. Now it's like Kevin, straight.
Forward's crooked.
Comment below if you just got butt hurt. Use this 19 millimeter Allen right here.
Time the axle bolt back. Give it 2 chugga-chuggas. Just doing the retaining bolt for that upper fork doohickey thing.
These are all
Technical terms.
Super into technical terms.
If you're on YouTube watching how to do this, you probably don't know the technical terms anyway, so.
And knowing the technical term doesn't help you fix it.
Yeah. And lift it up.
I'm gonna have to lift it up because if you'll notice, there's a giant gap right here now. Because
Giant gaps, we're used to this.
Understandably
Shorter.
Understandably, this is shorter because we're wanting to lower this car. So like this, like
The geometry is different.
it's all kinds of different. So we're gonna get this. I feel like Ross is shining his headlight at me. It's like right now he's the light and sound guy. Look at me giving you the respect as a light and sound guy.
Thank you.
That you don't give me. I'm the light and sound guy.
You're the director.
And the director. I don't get a director credit or any of that.
Jack this up.
I get a couch made out of an old barrel. Yeah. James Cameron.
I mean, it's not that old of a barrel.
James Cameron getting millions of dollars for a project. I'm getting a barrel. That just tells you the difference in where he's at versus where I'm at.
Barrel legs.
Barrel, just not even the whole barrel I got from Ross. Just the legs.
You know how famous you're going to be from this video?
Not probably. So
Listen, linked below is Kevin's Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter.
MySpace.
Okay. So anyways, Kevin is now tightening the lower fork mount bolt. Sounded about like it was tight enough.
Right. So
now we can let the jack down if we wanted to, but we don't want to.
Yeah.
So we're gonna.
Now the shock is gonna hold all this up high enough where we can get the rest of this stuff installed.
Just gonna manhandle a little bit, push them down in there. Sometimes we line up, sometimes we don't. There's mine.
So this applies to lots of Audis. This bushing, it twists as the suspension travels, so you want this bushing to be under no tension when the car's at ride height. So right now these arms are actually up higher than ride height. So what we're gonna do is loosen this bolt and then tighten this bolt, and that'll let it zero out. We'll do that for all 4 lower suspension bushings.
All right, so now we're gonna tighten the upper control arm bolt. And Ross is over here filming nothing.
Ross is just gonna film nothing, and then later he's gonna preach to Kevin that he needs to just use a crescent wrench for everything.
Yeah, see if you have one.
It is super.
I said you could borrow it.
It is possible to tighten this bolt down so tight that it snaps this ear off. So just be.
Yeah, don't snap it.
It just needs to be tight. It doesn't need to be like He-Man tight. Okay, just tight, just a little bit.
That's some good info right there.
Yeah, because that knuckle's like $400 or $500, I bet. You know, and then all the like emotional damage that it causes when it breaks and you can't drive your car, and you were thinking you was going to be at that low and slow car show that's the day after tomorrow, and now you're waiting for this part.
Waiting for your ear to come in.
Gunter's going to have to machine this out of virgin aluminum, and it's going to take like a week and a half to ship it from Germany. Virgin aluminum. He doesn't do anything just regular.
So now we're going to guess that Kevin's back there hooking up the sway bar in link. So now that the car is high enough, we left it loose on the other side so that we would have the ability to stretch it how we needed to.
Stretch it.
Stretch it.
I haven't done any stretching since the last time I was at your mom's house. Let's just...
I got nothing.
Yeah.
There we have it.
Just double check.
One airlift strut.
Give everything another look over to make sure everything's tight.
Yeah, you can look at it with your eyeballs to see if they're tight.
Yeah. So this is what I got, okay? It's a tool, it's one of the spring compressors. It's got this with threads in it, and there's another one of these that doesn't have threads that goes down here, which we promptly threw in the trash. And then I got this spacer made out of a axle nut off, looks like maybe a Mark IV Jetta or something. And put it on there like that, and I'm gonna weasel this in here. So it's in the middle of that there spring. Then I'm gonna take this and I'll put it up through the center of the spring, through the hole in the lower control arm and everything. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna tighten that rod, and it's gonna pull down on that, and it's gonna compress the spring up against the lower seat. And then I'm gonna be able to just pull the spring out. I'm not gonna have to disconnect anything, any of this. We are gonna disconnect this shock from the bottom, and that'll give us a little bit of down travel on the suspension. Okay. Lower shock. Super important.
What size is that?
It's a 21. There's a washer right here. Goes between the shock and the knuckle. We're gonna keep them together.
So yeah, the tool grips it from inside the spring instead of outside like the one we used earlier.
So we're going to take this shock out. The kit comes with new ones. So you just take the fender liner loose a little bit here. There's two 16mm bolts right up top.
You just fish it out the bottom like I taught Kevin. New ninja move.
Here we go.
Mr. Master Tech over here. Learning from the new guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no comment. So now what we're gonna do?
Ross is right.
Booyah!
Ross is right.
Booyah!
Ross is right.
Booyah! So now we're gonna zip off that.
Is this a 16 millimeter nut?
Slides right off. We're gonna go ahead and pull off the old sleeve and the bump stop. And then we're gonna grab the new airlift shock and put the strut mount back on.
That's a 14 millimeter nut, by the way. Nut. There's a, at the end there's a nut.
In case you didn't know. We're gonna put the dust cap on.
Oh yeah.
Almost forgot.
Ross taught me how to forget that.
Booyah.
This is the part of the video where Ross is about to catch his car on fire. If this is your car, there's actually 0 fire risk. You can relax.
So now we're gonna go ahead and fish the bag up into its spot. Give a little push. Okay. And then what I like to do is take the upper retaining nut that comes with the kit. That's a little plastic nut. Basically, I'm gonna go ahead and push this up into its hole. And I'm gonna start that nut slightly. Just enough. Just enough to hold it. And then we'll do the same thing, start our fitting. This is where you have to have little bitty hands, which I don't. So trying to work around. The camera's always fun. Spin the bag until you get it started. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. Got it started. Take our 19, not our crescent wrench.
Oh, what, your crescent wrench wouldn't fit up in there?
No.
Huh. Huh.
And then go ahead and tighten it via the bag. Looks like we've still got some ambers in there burning. Not gasoline or the car.
I mean, the gas tank is like
On the other side.
right over there, like not too far.
And then now we've got to tighten that top retaining nut. Typically hold your fingers in there. Sometimes. And the fitting will spin with you. So many threads.
It's so difficult.
Oh, this is much easier this side.
This is much easier this side.
Well, I reorientated my arms. Just pull the fitting aimed out towards the hole.
Yay, you did it! We didn't even have to put any hair around it.
Or my thumb up it.
My name's Ross. I'm a real technician.
You're gonna put the bottom bolt back in. Make sure you put that washer between the control arm and the shock on the inside. Zip it back on.
8 rat-a-tat-tats.
That's it.
Word to your mama. What?
I think a wise man named Vanilla Ice said that.
Put the top down so his hair could flow.
With the rack top down so my hair can flow. The grilly's on standby. Waited to just say hi. Did you stop? No, I just drove by. Did you stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll blow. Nice. It's all coming off of there. All up in there.
Again, we got the bulkhead fittings all set up. And then we got the manifold mounted. It's right there. We can't see it right now. Ross is going to run the lines from there to there. Make it look all nice.
Point A to point B.
He's using these. He's got these little 90-degree doodads.
You can also buy these on classyhouseproductions.com to go along with your bulkheads. Very professional.
Well, I mean, regular professional.
Oh yeah. Don't get overexcited.
Let's not overpromise.
And under-deliver.
Yeah.
But as you can see, our viewing window came out super awesome, super clean. I love how like the tank basically kind of just peeks through, and you can see the compressors. And even though there's no hard lines, it still kind of you know, spices it up a little bit with some fanciness. But to run our piece of plexi in here, basically it would be sitting right on top of the tank. So we're gonna have to make some little risers for the sides that will lift it up just enough to get it over the tank to where the floor is basically not resting on the tank. So we'll make those sides real quick and add those pieces on there, and then we'll do a little bit more routing on the edges here, and then we'll get it wrapped up, and then it'll be pretty much done. We'll just add the LED lights and that's it. Okay, so here's basically our almost finished floor. Went ahead and put those put a 1-inch spacer or lifter up to be able to space it up above the tank so the plexiglass won't hit the tank. Went ahead and did a 45 along the edges here just to really clean it up. I love me some 45s and router tricks, obviously, but looks super clean. So we're gonna go ahead and get it wrapped in black carpet and then throw some plexi in it, and then we'll see how that looks.